to go to the moon and this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Now I'm just cycling along here and everything feels great. It's actually a little heat wave. It's about 10 degrees Fahrenheit here in Minnesota. That's about negative 10 degrees Celsius, I believe, and feels really nice to be outside. For the last couple of weeks, we've had temps as low as negative 30 at night, so this is as warm as it's been. All right, hey guys and gals, Carl here, and today I'm going to compare using a saddlebag versus a rack and rack top bag. Here I have a Vincita Cycling saddlebag, and they were kind enough to also provide me with one of their Nash rack top bags, and I will mount rack top bag on top of an Old Man Mountain Racks here, which is a company based in the US, and this is a super lightweight and durable rack. If you guys have watched my bike packing gear breakdown video, you'll know that I typically mount this waterproof backpack on top of a rack. That's how I carry most of my gear, which I only need once per day. First main difference between using a saddlebag and rack top bag is the upfront weight savings. This bag here weighs about 400 grams. This rack is 700 grams, and this rack top bag is 1.5 kilograms. So up front, you're seeing a weight savings of 75%. So weight savings up front is a big deal. And then you come to carrying capacity. With this saddlebag, you have 9 liters of carrying capacity. Large saddlebags go up to 18 liters carrying capacity. With the rack top bag, this is rated at 11 liters carrying capacity. But I'm guessing that doesn't include these nifty little mini panniers they have on the side here. This bag also has a padded insert, and for bike packing, I think I would typically just take that out. It's nice for going around town, but unnecessary when you're trying to maximize your gear storage. Now, using waterproof backpack, this holds 20 liters. If you wanted to use this 20-liter bag with waterproof panniers, then suddenly you can easily be up to 60 liters of gear capacity. And if using larger panniers, you're up to 80 liters of gear capacity. 80 liters of gear capacity is as much as a large backpack. A bike packer who just has a rear rack could throw a backpack on there, buy some panniers, and you should be able to go bike packing for anywhere from 3 days to a month just carrying all your gear on your rear rack. This saddlebag is water resistant, rack top bag is not, but includes this nifty little waterproof sack to go over it, just like so. With added carrying capacity, you are going to have added weight. My biggest thought there is just don't overpack your bags if you're going with a rack top bag and pannier setup. I mean, with a saddlebag, you're forced to not pack that much weight. Pack smart, pack light. Another thing about using a saddlebag is that this saddlebag mounts with Velcro to your bicycle. It's kind of hard to take on and off. That means you have to pack it from the rear. When using a typical saddlebag, this saddlebag does have a zipper up top, which is pretty neat. Typically, you are packing that bag on your bicycle. With a rack top bag, that bag sits on your rack and you can just access anything inside of there whenever you want. Same with panniers, you're just reaching into those panniers. One trick, if I'm using panniers, I like to label each of the panniers with a different color. That way I know what's in each pannier. That's another thing to think about. With the saddlebag, you have simple packing. You know all your gear that's in the back of your bike is in the saddlebag. I'm going to test both of these bags carrying items typically needed for bike packing. So out of my backpack here, I have tortillas, peanut butter, can't bike pack without peanut butter, and a bunch of cans of tuna. These are all things you typically need when bike packing. And they're nice and heavy, so it'll actually give me a good test as to how these bags do when loaded up with pretty heavy stuff. One concern of mine I have with the saddlebag is that it will sway when I'm biking. So that's one thing. I want to load it up and actually give it a good test. Things to think about when deciding to go more of a bike packing bag setup versus traditional rack and panniers is smaller riders actually may have trouble mounting bike packing bags to a smaller frame bike. So I don't have that issue, but I've heard of people having that issue. Other things are aerodynamics, but for the majority of people just out having fun, I don't think that's a big issue. And then we get down to the item of aesthetics. I mean, there's no denying that saddlebag and bike packing bags look pretty cool on a bike, but for me, the most important thing is functionality. And so if you can get by using bike packing bags and you're not wasting all your time packing in the morning and unpacking in the evening, then great. But for me, I just go with what's the most functional.
One thing in tortillas. It's a big thing in tortillas. And 2 jars of peanut butter. And we should be pretty set for a week of bike packing here.
So I'm actually riding to the boat launch and I'm going to ride around a little bit on the lake. So biking in the snow is not something foreign to us in Minnesota. This is pretty typical, and yeah, we bike year-round here. I know everybody else does too, but it's a little bit colder here. One thing I'm pleasantly surprised about is that the bag doesn't seem to shake all that much. Even as heavy as it is, when my bike shakes, it doesn't shake too much more than the bicycle. That was my main worry, was that the saddlebag would just shake too much and I'd feel it when I got out of the saddle, but the bag doesn't shake all that much. One benefit of using a rack top bag versus a saddlebag is that you can load this bag when it's off the bike. That means I could be packing right now inside my tent if it's raining outside. So it's really convenient. That's a huge reason why somebody might choose to go with a rack top bag. So right now I can sit here at the table and pack it with the tortillas. Got our jars of peanut butter. And then I can throw all these cans of tuna in here. So already I've loaded this bag up much more than I did with the saddlebag. All right, so we're loaded. And then a cool thing about this bag is that it has this quick release. You can throw this bag on your rack and then with these 2 hooks, just clamp down and it's not coming off. A couple days since I first tested the saddlebag, and I'm testing the Nash rack top bag right now. The weather is still plenty cold, but at least it's not snowing, so that should make filming a little bit easier. I guess no big surprises. The bag works really nicely. I'll try to find some bumpy terrain to take it over, because a big concern people have when using a rack top bag and panniers is that it's going to bounce around too much. Taking out the drone to do a flight, and I already decided to use the pannier just to throw the drone box in while I'm flying. So these guys are already getting put to use. Cycling across the lake, and the rack is doing pretty well. It's actually a lot bumpier out here than you'd expect, because people are driving cars on the lake right now, and they do that to go ice fishing. So there's a little shed and more than a couple out here, and people are actually ice fishing out here right now. A common Minnesota pastime in winter. Yeah, so the rack's doing well, and it's a nice little ride right now in the sun. Very, very bright, and I'm warm, believe it or not. even though it's 18 degrees out. I'm just wrapping up my test of the rack top bag, and this bag is a great bag. I already used the pannier side panels, and I don't know, it will hold your gears, and so will the saddlebag. So it really just comes down to personal preference. If you like the look of a saddlebag and aren't concerned about not having enough space, then go with the saddlebag. If you already have a rack and don't want to invest in a bunch more gear, then go with a rack top bag and panniers. It just comes down to personal preference. I really appreciate the convenience of the Nurse rack top bag and just being able to clip it and unclip it to a rack and carry it around. For me, that's really important. I don't like wasting time packing in the morning, and I feel like that maximizes my efficiency. I mean, it also would be a great bag for just riding around the city, and you could put a laptop in there. And a saddlebag isn't as versatile for that, because personally I really don't want to leave a bag strapped to my bike when I lock it in a city. Yeah, so the convenience of a rack top bag is, for me, that's a big deal, and for a lot of other people too. So I'm probably going to continue biking with a rack top bag. I really like this Nash rack top bag, but because it's not waterproof, I probably won't use it for long distance bike packing, but I would love to use it for little single day and 2-day trips. Same goes for the Strata bike packing bag. All right, here's that convenience I was talking about. So I got back home, all I have to do is unclip here and here, and I'm all ready to go make a peanut butter and jelly tortilla sandwich. Well, thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope to see everybody on the trails. Stay healthy out there. Adios.